Russia bans food imports from the West in response to EU and U.S. sanctions. Now the European Union is considering further action. Welcome to your Thursday lunch break. I'm Lee Hawkins, filling in for Tanya Rivero. The European Union said a Russian ban on a range of food and agricultural imports was clearly politically motivated, and it could take further action after examining the measures. With more details, we're joined by WSJ reporter Matthew Dalton from our bureau in Brussels. Hi, Matthew. Did Russia's ban on Western items catch the EU by surprise?
Well, they were expecting some form of retaliation from Russia for the economic sanctions that the West placed on them last week. It was unclear what form this was going to take, but a ban on food imports was in line with something that they were expecting. It's a measure that's annoying and not of terribly huge economic significance at this point, but it sends a message that that more could follow. So this is more or less in line with what the EU was expecting.
Okay, you said not a lot of significance in terms of economic impact at this moment, but could it deeply impact European farmers and businesses going forward?
Well, there are pockets of the European economy that are going to be very hard hit by these measures. Fruit growers, farmers in certain sectors, are going to be deprived of a major market for their produce. Just to give you an example, Belgian pear farmers sell half of their pears, worth about 100 million euros a year, to Russia. So those pear growers have got about 3 weeks to find a whole new market for half of their produce. So there are a number of areas like that in Europe where this is going to be a problem.
How closely is the EU watching troop movement at the borders?
Well, they're very concerned about what's happening right now. There are about 20,000 Russian troops on the border with Ukraine. The Russians are conducting troop maneuvers and drills. And the worry is that as the Ukrainian military continues to have success against the pro-Russia rebels in eastern Ukraine, that the risk that an actual Russian invasion will happen grows, because the fear is that Russia and Vladimir Putin will not allow the pro-Russian rebels to be defeated by the Ukrainian military.
What did the EU signal say may be the next steps they will take, if any?
Well, it seems like the main response that they would take is to bring a lawsuit at the World Trade Organization challenging the legal validity of these measures. Russia is a fairly new member of the WTO, so it does have commitments not to take measures that are protectionist, which these allegedly are. The EU probably would not respond with just its own set of further sanctions, kind of a tit-for-tat situation. It's going to reserve its response on economic measures to what happens on the ground in eastern Ukraine and with Russian support for the rebels in eastern Ukraine.
Thank you, Matthew.